came up with the idea after last year's marching band show, which was a sci-fi show. I'm a pretty big sci-fi and horror nerd, and I try to pick shows that are relevant to current pop culture. And so at the end of last year, I really got into Walking Dead, and I've always been a big zombie fan as well. But I decided I wanted to try and do a zombie show, and I started thinking about how I could make that happen. So that kind of made me start thinking about masks and props and all of that. And I had gone up to my in-laws and was telling them about this show, and they said, you should really watch this program. And so they take out a video of making monsters. It's like, wow, that is so cool. I really got to get in touch with them. So I emailed them the very next day, and I said, you don't know me, but you know my kids because they played with your grandkids. And I'm kind of interested in having you guys design these custom masks for me. I have to come up with something that's going to work quickly and also work for marching band. They got back to me and they said, well, why don't you come visit us and we can talk about it. And so I actually went up in December, which is their downtime over Christmas break last year. Hardly anybody in the store, in the warehouse. And went in, we talked about it, and they said, we think that's a really exciting idea, and we'd also like to make it an episode of Making Monsters next fall. And that's when I then brought it back to the administration, and then that's when the logistical battles began.
This year we had quite a few problems getting the show on the road and getting it signed off by the administration. But it started with just asking our principal if we could do it, Mr. Finnestead. He wasn't very fond of the idea at first because it was kind of over the top. It was a reality TV show. He didn't want to make the students' parents uncomfortable by us being on national television, and he didn't want to expose our identity or anything like that.
So the first battle was convincing the administration that this was going to be something that was positive for our kids, that was going to end up being something that they could be proud of. The next step was I had to convince the students, and that was the easiest step of the whole process. I basically just told them that they could be on TV. They all went, yay! And we were done.
Well, initially, as most people, I was super excited about the project because we have never done something so extravagant or been on TV, and it just sounded so cool. And then I started to get a little nervous, especially when there were so many of the issues while going through the district trying to let us do this show and not have a bad reputation for our school, but I think we were able to overcome that really well.
The next step, which wasn't quite as easy, was we had to convince the parents. We ended up having a great big informative meeting where Ed and Marcia came down. We showed a clip of the show. We had a panel where we did questions and answers, and then at the end we did a vote where they voted whether or not they wanted to participate, and it ended up being 99-1. The three drum majors and I, we were all really nervous for that initial shoot, and we basically had to go in the door 4 times. Walking in, I had my wrong hand out to shake hands because he had something in his other hand, so we had to go back. Second time, didn't get our lines out. Third time, can't remember. So anyways, it's really interesting that for being reality television, how much thought goes into where people are and what is said, and that the information is being conveyed.
Well, we just showed up. It's a reality show, so we had to pretend like we hadn't ever met them before, which was kind of weird. So we went into Distortions and we met them and we talked it up, and they already knew what the show was, but we had to go back through the door and come back in and act like we had never seen them before. And we had to do it 4 times because we kept screwing it up because we didn't know how to be on TV, and we were not facing the camera or doing something wrong, and it was just so funny, and they all knew that we were amateurs at it, so they were really patient with us, which was good.
Having cameras on our face was, it was kind of nerve-wracking at first, but you just try to carry on like they weren't there. That was another thing that the crew from Distortions, they'd made it really easy and really comfortable, and lots of smiles, and so it just made us feel pretty good.
It was time consuming. We spent 2 full days there, and that consisted of just interviews and just talking about what we wanted to do and having the meeting about what we were looking for in our masks, and then finally we got to see the masks once they were almost completely finished.
We got to go up to Distortions for the second time to see the big reveal of the masks. And we went into the room where they all were, and it was like 88 dead heads looking at you. We picked out the ones we liked best, and in front of us, they proceeded to customize them. And these are people who have worked on like Batman and Avatar and other such gigantic blockbuster films like that. So they're pretty quality masks.
I really enjoyed going up to Distortions and going to the warehouse and meeting everyone from the show. They were all super nice, and they are, I don't know, they're really cool people. I thought it would be a lot of pressure to be on national television, but they're actually really laid back, and it was really cool to just explore their warehouse and see all the stuff that they have and all the things they've made. It's amazing.
Third phase was, or like the next step, was actually filming the marching band show and, you know, getting a bunch of footage that they could use to see us in action with the zombie masks.
I think my favorite memory of the whole process has been the actual day of the shoot. That was just really a lot of fun. They really didn't know what to expect when they showed up at the field, and so they were really surprised at the level of preparation that we had, the props that we had, the kids' performance ability. Some of the things that we came up with to shoot were really fun. Having the parents there cheering was a lot of fun.
When we put the masks on, we were a little bit afraid that while we were marching, then it wouldn't go as we thought it would, or people would have issues because normally we don't have masks on while we march. But even though it was harder to adapt to, I think that the show still went really well, and we're all still really excited to show so many new people what we got to do.
The filming day was kind of insane. We started with the music, then we marched what we knew, with the masks on, and all the while, cameras were just rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Silver Creek Marching Band performing their 2012 show entitled Distortions.
After they see the show, they see how much work we put into, and it's not just like normal concert band where we have music in front of you. It's at a whole new level because we have to have the music memorized and have our marching memorized, and then with all the theatrics, then I hope that they really understand that we love doing this and just how awesome it is for all of us.
Am I excited to see myself on television? I'm more excited to see the kids. They're the ones that have done the bulk of the work. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are out on the field putting themselves out there. There's been a lot of parents that have built amazing props. There's been parents that have been feeding them, you know, hours and hours and hours spent. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that are out there performing.
This experience was definitely life-changing for me. I'm really happy. I can't even explain it. I'm so blessed to be drum major this year. This is the most awesome show we've ever done, and I will never forget it. I'm trying to remember everything I can about it, and it's definitely been a great experience.
I'm really excited to see the episode, but we're kind of nervous that we're going to look really awkward on national television. I really hope we don't, but we'll see, and hopefully we're not awkward high schoolers.